I would say, so I was a very insecure kid. I was insecure for most of my life. Growing up in Baltimore, Baltimore was called the City of Anger, so it was a place where people would beat you up just for, look at you wrong, right? There was people just on edge. So I grew up very insecure, so I learned early on, like I was the kind of kid, I was getting chased home from school. I went to 11 different schools in 12 years because we didn't, Dad wasn't around, Mom wasn't around. We went to 11 schools in 12 years, which if you want to get a kid bullied, make him really small like me, like a pretty boy, and make him change schools every year, right? So I was getting chased home, whatever. And then there was like right around age 13, I said, you know what? I'm not running from any more of these dudes. I'll fight, if it's a group of them, I'm gonna fight these dudes. And I just realized intuitively that I'm gonna just send a message and the word's gonna get around, just like if a guy goes to prison, like that's what they say, if you ever wind up in prison, like first scrap you have, you gotta make an example of a guy or else you're gonna have a lot of problems, right? So you just learn that on the street, like, all right, I'm just not running. I don't know if I'm gonna win, I'm gonna lose, but I know I'm gonna fight with everything I have and I'm not running. And so I actually did get into a lot of scraps younger. But I just sort of had that code, sometimes foolishly. I was fighting groups of guys and taking beatings when I should have ran, but that was so much of my code. So that carried over even into, even when I was a journalist, there were times we were sent into situations where I was scared. But you have to be, because sometimes journalists think they have this magic halo that's like gonna just like save them and protect them. They have this false sense that, and it doesn't really work that way. People will like you go knock on a guy's door and he's got a Doberman there, and like he really in some ways wants to open the door and let the Doberman out. Or, you gotta be careful. But as a martial artist, so you had alluded to it too. It's like I really am the kind of guy, I run toward my fears. I really always have. Even before it was a fancy slogan and all over Facebook and get comfortable being uncomfortable, all those things. I just intuitively, I don't feel right when I have a coward's cloak. If I feel like to me, dishonesty is cowardice. I don't feel right in that. So I don't need somebody to be like, oh, they might catch me so I won't be honest. The penalty for me if I lie is I have to wear that. I have to feel that, and that doesn't feel right to me. The penalty for me if I go to a tournament and I'm afraid of a guy and I don't fight him, because the cardinal sin of a tournament or the cardinal sin of being in a competition is that you beat yourself. It's not, the cardinal sin is not losing. The cardinal sin is that you went there and you didn't give everything you had, you beat yourself mentally, and you lost before you even shook the guy's hand. That's the cardinal sin. So for me, I don't want to feel that. So I always I show up everywhere like, I'm afraid. The night before, there's times 2 nights before, you're like, a tournament, why did I come here? Why do I do this? And if you look, I worked at Ultimate Fighting Championship. The best fighters in the world have the same thing. They all have to dance with that fear. We all do. No matter how bad you are, if you're unbeaten, we all dance with that. That's part of the beauty. That's part of the aliveness, getting there on competition day, feeling that nervousness. Like, it's one of the most alive feelings in the world, just like what you were describing with like a search and rescue or an aerial, a circus performer or something. Like that's why you're there too. That's the alive feeling. It's you're so in tune with every sense, right? Everything, your sense of smell is heightened, your sense of touch, your sense of your inner and what you're feeling is off the charts. So you can't get, as you go in life and you mature and you get real life responsibilities, you lose more and more things that make you feel that aliveness. There's only certain areas you can go in your life to feel that. So yes, there was fear. That's why I was there. That's why I showed up. Like somebody said, look, this guy's a world champion. He's Godzilla. Great. That's why I'm here. I hope he's really strong. I hope he's really tough, because then when you win, it's going to mean something, So that's sort of just a synopsis. So that's kind of my relationship with fear. I actually feed off it, and I still do.